My why of doing anything at the minute is to clear all interest out of my life. In the inner circle, you can see everyone, even the people who have been on the course before me, are posting in their wins and posting in something that they're looking at. You're getting little nuggets of knowledge from different people. It's that community sense, and we're all in this together to lift each other up. I would say my knowledge of crypto has increased 100% to what it was, because before it was maybe 1%.
I'm not going to say his name, but he posted in the wins section last week about how he paid off his dental
Yeah,
practice
incredible.
from his investments.
I was just like, if he was one of your first clients 4 years ago, if I can do that in 4 years, you know what? I'll be a very, very happy man.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Naveed, you're already doing all the right things, man. I'm really proud of you. Give me a brief intro on who you are and what you do currently for work.
So I'm Naveed. I qualified in 2013 as a graduate. I pretty much started working in the NHS for about 3 or 4 years and just absolutely hated dentistry. And then I just decided after 4 years that I was going to shift into private dentistry. Took a big hit on my earnings initially, but I knew that was what I wanted to do. And then I just sort of worked my way up, and now for the last sort of 7, 8 years, I've been working fully privately, doing sort of cosmetics, align, bleach, bond, and so on. I'm just starting to learn in implants, and that's my next big goal. And I sort of really want to hit the ground running with that and really like escalate it and push it and make it big. Yeah, sort of see the benefit of the sort of my mentors and stuff that I work with. They're, and I think you've mentioned it as well in the programs, that like, you can limit your days and maximize your earning potential in the days. And for me, the most important thing is always about family and having time with the family and time with my young kids, being able to then get those bigger and better treatments. As such, I can then start to reduce my days, but still actually increase my earnings.
Inshallah. Excellent. Good, man. That summarizes a lot. Now, can you remember some of the issues that you came to us with before you joined us on the first ever call that we had? Some of the reasons why you felt like, you really, really wanted to start taking this step to learn how to invest and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like for me, my ultimate goal was, I would say, in the last 3 or 4 years, I've become more in tune with my faith and understanding that actually I had a lot of finance, a lot of interest in paying, and I wanted to start getting rid of it. And I knew, like, I've always feel like Alhamdulillah, I've always been earning well. I've never been living paycheck to paycheck, but I actually felt like, what have I really got to show for it? In sort of 12 years, what have I actually got to show for that? Okay, I had a few fancy cars and I've got a house, but other than that, I feel like I haven't really, like, not really secure in the future. So my why of doing anything at the minute is to clear all interest out of my life. So thankfully, I've got rid of everything apart from my mortgage. So my main reason to coming was ways I could structure my finances, build my future so that I can clear this mortgage as quickly as possible, and then continue in the same vein to secure my children's future down the line so that they don't have to go through student loan debts and interest on those debts and things like that. And I can provide them with essentially get them started on an interest-free life. And the other thing as well is, I've always known about investing and the importance of investing and stuff, but actually didn't really know. Like, if someone asked me about stocks and shares ISA, I could give them an answer of what it is. If someone asked me about crypto, I would have been like, shrug my shoulders, as I said, just don't understand it. So it was also just try and get some sort of structure and base knowledge about how to go about it, how to look at it. Because some people, will just give me the advice, or just invest in this S&P 500 and you'll be fine. Whereas I'm kind of like, well, why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? I could just go to a financial advisor and let him invest for me and pay all the high fees, but I want to learn it for myself. So
Yes.
there was a combination of it. There was the personal side where I wanted to be financially free and no sort of a debt free essentially, and not have that stress. But also then thinking that actually I'm in a very privileged position to be earning very well. And actually I should be doing more with my money, and actually, even your sort of like pre-course call or webinar, even that, I understand what inflation is,
Mm,
but I never thought about it deeply enough. And
mm.
then it's just your one line of the money you have in your bank now in 12 months' time is going to be worth 8 or 9% less. I was like, actually, do you know what makes so much sense? It makes, and so it was just that type of thing, to get some structure and also then to be planning to be debt free, essentially.
I love that, Naweed. I love what you said, right, about wanting to be debt free so that your children also don't have to take those steps that we had to take, right? And
Yeah,
I think a
yeah,
lot of immigrant parents, right, a lot of our parents, etc., they they had a very difficult upbringing, and their mindset when they were raising us is that I just want to be able to give them a life that I didn't have, right? And a lot of them
Yeah.
make the mistake of, in order to achieve that, they just buy their children material things. Oh, I didn't have this material thing, so I'm going to give it to my
Yeah.
children. I didn't have that material thing, so I'm going to give it to my children, right? But you're taking it to a beautiful new step where you're saying, I had to get into debt for XYZ reason. I need to get out of debt and I need to structure myself and my finances so that my children never have to take the same steps that I had to do with regards to interest and
Yeah.
debt. I love
Yeah.
that, bro.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from you. And I love the fact that you're already smashing it with regards to the debt. And I'm telling you so honestly, smashing the debt, paying it off as soon as possible is one of the best decisions that you could possibly make. Okay? And
Yeah.
we've had this conversation before, so you know what it is. Okay? MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How was the experience when you joined us? How was the experience through the mentorship, the first mentorship, obviously the main the flagship program, and then our private community, etc.
So I'll be honest that whenever I got the first sort of the discovery call with Barry, that's when I was like, you know what, these guys are serious because it wasn't just like, oh, you're interested in our course, here, here's the fee, come on in, watch this, and you're fine. It was like I spoke to Barry for about an hour, or in fact just over an hour, and it was detailed questions, and I was like, these guys, they're talk to talk, but they're also walking the walk because they are trying to get know what my situation is and why I'm in a situation where I am and asking what I'm spending per month. Because if I'm earning 10 and I'm spending 9.5, well then is that what is it worth, And so that really impressed me straight away. I was like, yeah, these guys mean business. And then the call with yourself as well. And, again, detailed questions. And I could obviously see you were writing down everything I was saying. So it wasn't just like me talking and you're just nodding your head, you're writing it all down. And I noticed little things like that. I noticed little details like that. And I was like, no, no, I'm definitely feel like these guys are on a different level. Then the webinars are great because recording because you can actually you advise to go through them twice, but actually you can go through it 3 times or 4 times, and
Yeah.
like I would go back, I'll go back and watch the crypto one again, and I'll probably have to watch it a fourth time. I've watched it twice. I've picked up new bits each time, but I would definitely would say that like I would need to go back and watch it again. So having that membership there to know that actually you can refer back all the time is great. And then all the stuff in the go, like I mean, like I think you could spend all year going through all the amount of resources and stuff that's there. And then there's also, when you see the inner circle and you see the people that you work with, Barry, Mosin, and all them, and they're posting in. It's not just that, you're signed up to the course and everything becomes anonymous then, and everyone, sometimes you feel like, okay, I've signed up now, but actually, where is this support that everyone talks about? But it's there, and I've talked to Barry individually about something that I was thinking about in the UAE
Mm,
and reached out to him and he was like, yes, no problem, let's schedule a call. So again, I felt like I was getting value for my investment,
mm,
100%. And then actually the structured nature of the course itself, going through the 8 modules or 9 modules, whatever it was, it follows a logical pattern. So the first two or three, I would say, was knowledge that I had. And then from then on, when the heavy stuff started, I was like, okay, right, this is what the S&P 500 is, and this is what they mean by like dollar cost averaging, and this is why consistent investing will help, and so on and so on. Because again, as I said, people just said to me, "Oh, just stick a bit in, and you'll be fine," And it makes no sense to me. I'm not going to just be like frugal with my money and
yeah,
just
yeah.
go, okay, well, if you said so, let's do it. So
Mm,
it's just that following that structured pattern and so on. And then having, yourself on the other end of the phone, if I need it, just drop a message as a voice note comes back within an hour or two, which is great. So, there's like having, again, as I said again, having that value of what I've invested into it and people actually doing what they said they're going to do. And
appreciate.
that for me is a big thing.
Yeah,
That for me is a
really
big
appreciate
thing.
that. No, we does. We appreciate at the end of the day, we want you guys to have the best experience possible, and we're always implementing more stuff. Actually, it was around the time that you joined us that we started implementing the accountability calls. Just calling clients every 2 weeks or so and stuff like that, just to follow up and see how you're getting on. Because a lot of the time, you guys get caught up in work and busyness, and
Yeah.
sometimes things can take a back seat, and it's completely normal. But I wanted to be there to support you guys and give you a little bit of a helping hand. So you know what? Listen, the modules will literally take like an hour like once a week, even if you can do
Yeah.
that, like that's enough. Split it up half an hour twice a week, something like that. So that's amazing. I really appreciate you saying that.
The other thing as well is, in the inner circle, you can see that actually everyone, even the people who have been on the course before me, are posting in and posting in their wins and posting in something that they're looking at, and you're getting little nuggets of knowledge from different people, but it's that community sense that actually, we're all in this together, and
Mm,
we're all in this together to lift each other up,
mm,
which again, it's fantastic. It's like, I would say it's very rare to get that, where you get a community of people together, like, yeah, you know what, guys, I'm looking at this, and you guys should look at it too.
yeah,
Here's what I've looked at, here's my what I think about the fundamentals. Obviously, do your own research,
yeah,
but and I'm looking at, and just to, like, pick it up and stuff like that. Fantastic,
yeah. And
fantastic.
did you see? I'm not gonna say his name, but he posted in the wins section last week about how he paid off his dental
Yeah,
practice
incredible.
from his profits
Yeah.
from his
I
investments.
was just like, what
Blew
a
me
hero.
away.
If I can do that, if he was
Yeah.
one of your first clients 4 years ago, if I can do that in 4 years, you know what? I'll be a very, very happy man.
Inshallah, inshallah. Naveed, you're already doing all the right things, man. I'm really proud of you. Right, Naveed. So I've got a couple of things that to ask you, right? What would you say to people that say, oh, it's a big investment, which it is, absolutely is. What would you say it's a big investment? I'm not sure about it.
I think, when anyone hears any figure, they're always going to be like, oh, is it worth it? I would say, and I had the same thing. I'm not going to lie, I had the same thing. But when I had that again with the discovery call with Barry, he didn't give me a figure. When I spoke to you and you said, but it's all those little details that I noticed. You writing everything down, asking the real sort of lots of detailed questions. I was like, they're actually taking an interest in where my personal situation is not a generic thing of few generic questions. Okay, what do you do? What do you earn? Right. Okay, we'll get you on the course and you'll be successful, and so on, and off you go. I would say, without sort of going into too much detail about who and what, but certainly if you immerse yourself within the sort of like
Ecosystem.
mentors in the group,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the mentors in the group, your return of investment will probably be, I would say, within a year you'll make that money back with the tax savings alone
Mm,
on with certain people in the group. And it may seem daunting at the start, but actually the value that you get from all of it, you have to think, like, I'm always thinking bigger picture. I'm always thinking 5, 10 years down the line. And if like similar to that person that was on the group, if in 5 or 7 or 10 years my mortgage is free, then that initial investment that I made is like
mm.
negligible,
100%.
because I'll
Good
be
point.
20 years ahead of schedule.
100%. That's a really good
I'll be
point.
20 years ahead of schedule. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say is, I don't know of, and I don't think there is anything quite like the inner circle
Mm.
that I've heard of, where
Alhamdulillah, bro. No,
everyone's there to
one
support.
thing I'm super proud of is that we are building very quickly to the point where we are going to be one of, if not the most robust financial education system for Muslims.
Yeah,
Very, very
yeah,
soon, right? Fully Sharia compliant financial education, the biggest system, very, very soon, inshallah.
yeah.
Bro,
Inshallah.
I personally, I mean, I'm in the space of this arena. I don't know of any other system that's like as. I mean, if there are, then obviously I want to know so that we can look at what are they doing, how can we improve. But I don't know of any system that is as
Yeah,
thorough as what we're
absolutely.
doing, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to build it like that, right? Okay, one last question, Naweed. What would you say to someone? Obviously, a lot of most of our clients, if not all of our clients, are busy professionals, dentists. What would you say to someone that comes up and they're like, I really want to do this, but I'm a little bit unsure about if I've got enough time, and I'm just so busy. I don't know if I've got enough time to do this.
So my answer to this would be, and I would use this a lot in actually how I speak to people when I'm talking to them about dentistry as well. I always say to them, if it matters that much, you will find the time. For me, my goal is to clear my mortgage in as quickly as possible,
Mm,
maximum 10 years, but even less.
mm,
That matters that much to me, that if I need to spend half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour a week, no problem at all. I'll find the time. And I think that's really important. If we really sit down critically and look at the amount of time we're actually idle doing stuff, actually there's plenty of time. And I'll give you my personal example. When I was in the gym and I'm doing my 45 minutes of cardio, walking, cycling, I was watching the webinars.
Mm.
You know, earphones in, no distractions. I could just watch and concentrate. And then if I had an evening free, like I've got a young family, I've got kids. If I had an evening free, even if I had, if my wife was putting the kids to sleep that night and I had half an hour, 45 minutes, I would just be watching it. So I think the time thing, you always start to think, oh, I don't think I will have time, I will have time, but but you will make time if it matters that much to you, you will definitely make time.
It's a
And
very
I
well
think a
said.
little bit of as well is when you get the bug, when you get it and you start to see the benefit and you're thinking, oh yeah, no, I actually do want to know more. I do want to know more. Because I would say my knowledge of crypto has increased 100% to what it was because before it was maybe 1%, you know, and it still needs to increase more and more and more because like it is still a little bit of a foreign concept to me.
Mm.
I get it, but I still need to understand it a bit more, but it's to me, if you had asked me 6 months ago, Naveed, would you be interested in crypto? I would have been like, no chance, not at all. Now I'm like, 100% I would, yeah.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't just be going in like I didn't know what an altcoin was. I didn't know what a meme coin was. I just thought they were all like different things. But now I know, right? Okay, well, let's look at the fundamentals behind this. Is
Yes.
this something that sounds a bit far-fetched? And if it is, yeah, no chance. So it's just even understanding that type of thing. Because I think out there, people love to talk about their crypto profits and oh, I made this and this, and it's like, okay, you have to you understand now, actually take it all with a wee bit of pinch of salt and stuff, and
Mm.
you have to do your own research and I understand it. But yeah, I was going off on a tangent. But yeah, essentially, if you're signing up to the course, it means there's a reason you're there. There's a reason you're making that step. Once you make that investment, if your why is strong enough, you'll find the time to get through it.